So I'll be presenting on one option. I'm not sure if many of you had a chance to attend the Tuesday's LinkedIn session. On LinkedIn, if you're not already familiar, LinkedIn has a page specifically for study abroad offices planning virtual events. I found it really helpful. If you want to connect on that page, I can perhaps share it in the chat later. I know some of you were on the call, which was great. And so you know that there are many platforms out there. And so Canvas is just one today. So I just wanted to go through a few things first before jumping into Canvas, because I just wanted to provide some context and also things to kind of think about when you're planning the virtual event. One of the main reasons I chose to go with Canvas is because we had what we call FIRO. That's the first year registration and orientation that happens during the month of June on campus. Obviously, it was a virtual event this year, and Chella and I were involved with that and having a virtual booth within the FIRO event. And I'll mention that I've had absolutely zero experience with Canvas. And so, but through instructions and, I was able to get, Chella and I were able to get this booth set up. And that's where I got the idea of, I think we might be able to actually duplicate this as the Study Abroad Fair. So it was really helpful. I have to give a lot of credit to FIRO. They're the ones that inspired me to create this. And it really made it doable after seeing what they have. The other reason is because all the incoming freshmen for fall have had the experience in Canvas with this virtual event. And so I thought the Study Abroad Fair would not be completely foreign to them. Also, our current students are already familiar with the platform, especially they have all their classes in there and they have attended, their virtual classes this past spring, so they'll be familiar. It's also free, which is also a bonus. And we can enroll students in the virtual fair as a course. It'll essentially be a course. It is a course in Canvas. They can be enrolled in it. We plan to enroll the entire student body so that whenever they go into Canvas, they'll see this is one of their course options. They're not getting any credit for it. They're not being charged for it. So there are no issues there. Also, this comes into play when it comes, we'll be talking about analytics in just a minute, but the students need to be enrolled in the course in order for them to show up in the analytics. So some things to consider when we were setting up the fair is, I was originally thinking maybe having this over 3 days and having different time frames, maybe 3 and 4 hour time frames each day to accommodate the different time zones that we are working with, because we're inviting all of our overseas partners to be a part of this and having live sessions with our partners. And we have, partners in Asia and Australia, New Zealand, and we want to include them. But then the idea was to have it all in one day and just make a big push for this one day. And I think it's going to make it a lot easier for our purposes. We're going to have the fair from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., 13-hour time frame on one day. And that way we can promote it as the big event on this day. We plan to have the fair available for students to see or to view, peruse around on starting the first day of classes, and have it open until after our application deadline, which is in mid-October. But the big push in our promotional materials will be for Wednesday, September 23rd. And that's 2 weeks after classes begin. That'll give us a nice amount of time to promote this and everything through when classes do start. For marketing and outreach, obviously, we all have our own ways that we're marketing and do our marketing materials. So I won't go into all those details. We'll be doing the usual events, but in addition, we're going to try and find some way to incentivize students to attend. Obviously, they're inundated with virtual information, and this is just one more. So why should they attend the fair? How can we get them to attend the fair? So we're looking at different incentives. And I know on Tuesday's LinkedIn session, they also talked about a variety of options. So we're looking at, are there any micro scholarships, micro grants? We get a lot of tchotchke items from our partners, hats and t-shirts, and so we're planning to capitalize on those things. We're also planning to do a scavenger hunt, trying to make it fun for students, get them to move around in the virtual fair. Mobile friendliness. This was something of importance. We wanted to make sure that students really could view this on their mobile or their mobile phone, and Canvas is a good option for that. And also how we have it set up, you'll see in a bit, I have it based on, things are tabbed, and that actually works well on mobile devices. So that was something else that we needed to consider. Also accommodations and live captioning. We did notify a disability services office about the event, and students just need to notify the disability services office within 3 days of the event. And we plan to have this in our promotional materials so that students can prepare in advance. There's also, when we do live sessions in the virtual fair, they're going to be connected to the Teams meeting, just like you're in today. And this provides for live captioning. If you see on the bar kind of at the bottom, like if you were going to click the red button to hang up, on that bar, there's 3 dots where you can click for more actions, and that provide, you can turn on the live captioning there. Now, one thing I am looking into, you might have to have the app, Microsoft Teams app, downloaded in order to view that, and not just accessing it through the web. So that's something I'm still kind of looking into, but all of our students probably have the Microsoft Teams app, but that's one thing we'll make sure of, make sure it works before the day. Let's see, for analytics, we definitely want to make sure that we want to know how is this working, because we don't know what to expect in the fall. We don't know if we'll have 25 students. I hope there's certainly more, but we have no idea. But I'm planning on setting this up for the future as well. So even if in the future when we go back to in-person, the in-person fair, I would still like to have this virtual event because it really allows our international partners to be a part of this. And a lot of it, I think I've heard from just about everyone already, and they want to participate, which is really great. So I plan, just to set the expectations, if it might be disappointing to have 25 students in the fall, but looking at the future and having this set up for the future, I think will be helpful. So in Canvas, it's called the new analytics, and there's options to view the analytics associated with the course. So even though it's an event in Canvas, it's set up as a course. And with the course, you have your different pages, your linked buttons, and your linked graphics. And you'll be able to view all the analytics for those when the students click on those items, you'll be able to view the analytics for that. For the event as a whole, we'll be able to export an Excel file, which will provide us with the event resources, page views, number of students who have engaged with those resources, etc. And I know on Tuesday's LinkedIn webinar, they talked about also Google Slides as an option where you can view the analytics, Prezi, and there's Go links. I'm not able to really speak to those, but those are options. And I also got this term, the wandering effect, from Tuesday's LinkedIn presentation. I know we've talked about, how can we get students to move around in the virtual space? How can we keep them interested? And I didn't realize there's actually a term for this, and it's called the wandering effect. And so it's something that I've tried to do, and what I have, I'll show you, is a work in progress. Definitely not complete yet, but I've tried to include different instructions in different areas throughout the virtual event space, so that students can easily navigate it. We'll also have, on that particular day, we'll have the live sessions, live advising, scavenger hunt, fun things to keep them involved, incentives for visiting booths, and hopefully a drawing for micro scholarships or grants, etc. Another thing we've tried to do is like program highlights. We wanted to, obviously cost is the biggest barrier. So, how can we highlight our exchange programs? How can we highlight our budget conscious programs? Maybe want to highlight your faculty-led programs or unique destinations. And I'll show you some of the ways today of how I've done that. So before the next thing is to go into the Canvas and show you a demonstration, but are there any questions before we do that?
Yes, Andrea, I do have a question. So when you mentioned that this is going to be like a course, so students have to be enrolled. So you enroll the students to this, right?
So are we going to enroll the students, you said?
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah, we'll work with the registrar's office on that to find out exactly how that happens.
Okay.
But we've been in conversation with the registrar's office to ensure that we can do this. So we'll talk with them to see how that could happen.
So you will be enrolling, like, what I'm trying to understand is because the fair is open to the whole campus. Students during the freshman year, sophomore year, they are all welcome. So how are we going to enroll that many students? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, again, we'll rely on the expertise of the registrar's office of how we can enroll them. I think there's a mass way that they can do that. Okay. I don't know how logistically that happens, but we'll definitely be talking with them on how that happens. The other thing we're going to do is in our promotional materials, send out a link where students, that's another place where they can access the fair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To help, sure. Nee, so did someone have a question? It's Nee?
Yep. Hi, Nee Vang. I'm from University of Wisconsin-Platteville. Now, I know you mentioned that was my question, like a link to access the fair. The other question I have is, what is UW-Stouts and other current institutions right now in terms of all the trial bans? Are you planning this in terms of everything rolling out for spring and summer of next year, and hoping that programs are going to run as usual? Because I know I have a lot of students already asking, like, what does next year look like? And I couldn't tell them, like, well, we don't know what next year is going to look like. So I want to know at least how you're planning around answering some of those questions, because I know I had some students asking me already, and I was like, I can't really give an answer, but I'm working on this virtual fair as well. But they're like, well, our program is going to be running next year. And I said, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, right? So we are planning for our wind term, which is our January, as well as our spring programs. We're moving ahead. Obviously, that could change. So the message I'm giving to students right now is that we are moving forward, but we do have to keep our eye on kind of what's happening. And our rule of thumb has been, I think a lot of schools are following this too, is if we have to cancel, we're looking at that about 60 days prior to their start date, hopefully sooner, especially for, taking into consideration those students who need to receive a visa. The other thing, or apply for a visa. The other thing we're doing is asking students to plan for a plan B. Go ahead and enroll in the Stout courses for the spring, so you have those courses, and make sure you have your accommodation still set for spring term. And then if you can go, then, cancel those. It's easy to cancel the on-campus accommodations if they've been accepted to a study abroad program. And it's easy for them to drop their Stout courses and get them into the study abroad placement course. So that's what we're doing. Is any other schools want to weigh in on what they're doing? Okay. All right. And feel free to put things in the chat box as we go along too, if you have any thoughts on that or answers to that. And I see that Chella put in the chat box the link to the virtual study abroad events brainstorming group on LinkedIn. So feel free to join that group. As of the other day, there are like over 800 people because we're all hungry for information. So any other questions before we go to the virtual event? Okay, I'm going to go and change the screen sharing options here. Let's see here. What happens when you have too many things open here? Okay, I'm going to just change this camera. Okay, so hopefully everyone's able to see the virtual fair. And let's see. I do want to let me take a step back real quick and show you the first year registration and orientation, where I originally got my inspiration. So you can kind of see two different formats. So this is what we originally started with or were a part of in June. Here we have a message from the chancellor. There's a video of instructions for the students. And then as we scroll down, you'll see these three icons for three different virtual booths. There's the resource fair that we were a part of. There were live sessions, and there's programs and majors. And first, the resource fair, there was a virtual booth for every office on campus. And I'll show you our study abroad booth. We had, a welcome message. We have a little TikTok message, a welcome. Students could chat with us live, a little bit about us, and we created our avatars, always finding ways to connect with students, and then some FAQs. So that's where Chella and I learned how to, navigate around Canvas. That was our beginning. And using that, came up with a study abroad fair. So here's where we plan to have a chancellor's video, and then I'll have a video of instructions just to give students a start on where to go. And then I'll make this a little bit smaller here so you can kind of see the full effect of the first page. So we are allowing students to navigate to explore programs, attend live sessions, ask an advisor, watch recorded videos, and start an application. I'm not sure if you can see it. I know sometimes when you share your screen, you're not able to see the bottom portion, but down here we have information about accommodations and some technology help. So with that, we'll go into the Explore programs. And there's some initial instructions here where students can select the tab of the program type that you want to learn about. So here's where I'm talking about we have tabs of each of the program types. We were originally thinking of setting it up how the FIRO page had it with every office had a booth. And we decided to do that by programs by country for that, and tab everything at the top here so that students can easily navigate through each of these options without much difficulty. So at the top, we're telling students they can click on the photo or link to read about the program and different ways that they can get their questions answered. They can click on the live sessions icon that's shown in each program, and that'll take them to a Microsoft Teams meeting where they can listen to the presentation and ask questions. If they missed one of the live sessions, then they'll be able to visit the recorded videos on the Watch Recorded Videos page. That can also be accessed from the home page. They can click on Ask an Advisor and also place the questions in the discussion board, and that'll be checked daily, or well, checked daily, I'll probably change that. That was more from the FIRO. There's a discussion board, and you'll see on the left-hand side where there's discussion. Students can place questions there. I'm still trying to figure out how to set all that up. So I probably won't go into too much detail, but there is a place where students can ask questions at any time or post questions at any time. So to go into programs by country, I decided to set it up by country. Originally, I was thinking, you know, we maybe want to have a booth for every program, but we have more than one program per country. So for example, in China, we have 2 faculty-led programs. And so we just thought it would be easier, set it up by country, and students can visit those booths for the different types of programs we offer. Also, we wanted to highlight exchange programs because that's an affordable option for students. So I created this little exchange program green dot that will be on each of the virtual booths where we offer an exchange program. So I don't have them on all of them yet. This page is still a work in progress. As you can see, they all have the same Australia photo, and that will change. So each booth will have its own photo from that country. So to show you an example of Australia, we offer 2 programs in Australia. And again, we decided to tab this in order to have students easily toggle back and forth to see the differences between the programs. We have the title set up here that it will be the same for each program. We'll welcome them to the university and a little brief overview. And essentially this is information in Teradata that we'll copy and paste or edit if, you know, as needed, but something that's short. Brief information about academic program offerings. They can join a live session. So we'll have a rep from SCU at a specific time, and they'll be able to click on this icon and join the Teams meeting. Excuse me. I requested our partners to send a 1 to 3 minute recruitment video or video that they use for their recruitment, and I'll embed that here if they provide a video. I also asked for their social media so that students have the opportunity to connect to their social media and insert the icons here. And then to learn more and start their application, there's a link to our Teradata page for that specific program. And then I'm not sure if you can see at the bottom, but something I'm adding to each of the pages so that they can easily navigate around. It says click the following to navigate to, and I have the different links. They can navigate back to the home page. They can navigate back to the Explore programs, which we're on right now. If they want to go to the attend live sessions, if they want to ask an advisor, go to the watch recorded videos page or start an application. So it's just the same for each of the pages. So I want to go back to Explore programs. And I'll go into the Belgium program. Now, we only have 1 program in Belgium, but I decided to still keep it as a tab to keep everything uniform. So I have Welcome to Howes University, and I put the green dot exchange programs again, just to highlight that. And again, this is a work in progress. I don't have the information in there yet, but these are the main titles that we're using. So I want to go back to the Explore programs page again and click, I want to learn about faculty-led programs now. And just a little introduction here. And then we have it, let me make this a little smaller so you can see the whole page. We have our winter, spring, and summer 2021 programs so each students can know exactly when they are being offered. So students want to learn about Japan. They can go to Japan, a specific page for the faculty-led program in Japan, and we have instructory information, again, copied and pasted from Teradata, who the faculty leader is, the course information, the travel dates, and then we'll do a live Q&A. Now, we're not going to do a live session, like program information related, simply because we've already created video info sessions with all of our faculty-led programs. So they'll be able to view the info session if they wish. So we're simply doing a Q&A when it comes to the faculty-led programs. And then again, they can learn more and start their application. And this link will take them directly to Teradata's website and they can apply. So going back again to the Explore Programs page, and we'll navigate to the top programs by career cluster. So, a lot of times the big questions we get are, what are you, I'm in this major, where can I go? So we decided to limit it to 6 to just highlight some of our maybe top programs for that particular cluster. Sometimes it's hard to eliminate it, but we're just going to show 6 programs. So we'll have our faculty-led programs and any semester programs that we have for that. Then we have our study abroad providers, and included icons for each of these. And then let me make this smaller here so you can see it a little better. And then popular or recommended programs for Stout students. So we just want to highlight different ones that really pertain to our students. And we have that linked to our Teradata page. And the last one is virtual programs. So we know we need to provide that information to students to let them know about the different virtual options. And I haven't done anything with this page. Like I said, it is a work in progress, but I'll be adding information to this page. Now, I'm going to navigate back to the home page because we've gone through the Explore Programs option. Now to attend the live sessions. Here's where I'm going to have a calendar of all the live sessions of when our partners want to do that session. So for example, we have API here at 10 a.m. and then the students will click on this link and it'll take them to a Microsoft Teams meeting. In the event that they navigate to this page first instead of the Explore Programs page, we're going to have a key, and this key will probably be on other pages as well. We'll explain, what a provider is, what a faculty-led program is, so they can easily get that information. And down here is where I have the live captioning information. As I mentioned earlier, they can click on that for the more actions. Now I'm going to navigate back to the home page again. And this is where student ask an advisor. They can ask any questions they may have. And we're going to take turns in our office to be available from between 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. that day. And this is where they'll be able to click. Again, this image is linked to a Microsoft Teams meeting. And I'll mention this is, clicking on the edit button here, you'll see that this can link directly to the Microsoft Teams meeting, and this is where we make all the changes. You can embed photos, link to a photo. You can create your tables. So that's kind of how that works there. And then there's the HTML editor if you need to do anything within HTML. This is where I did add HTML information for tabbing, which essentially is a copy and paste, just to kind of let you know how that works there. And I can go into more detail if people wish at the end. To watch recorded videos, so we have a variety of videos. We have some how-to videos. We have, as I mentioned earlier, we've done video info sessions for all our faculty-led programs, and those will be housed here, as well as in their actual page. So students can access this in a variety of pages. We've done some major specific program videos. And then again, this is where videos from our partners, this is where I mentioned the 1 to 3 minute recruitment videos that I requested from our partners. They'll all be housed here. We'll be adding to this as I receive more. And then if students missed a session, so all the sessions that we're doing that day will be recording just like we're recording now. And we'll put those in the table here so that students can view them at a later time. And then the last one is to start an application. And this is also a work in progress. We plan to have information about, the process of applying. We'll have a link to the Teradata page. We'll probably, have a video on how to apply. So we'll be developing this a little bit later. And that is all I have on our virtual fair. So I'm happy to open it up to questions and feedback and talk about anything that we have any questions about. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but we can certainly chat.